Hello and welcome you snazzy people of the internet and the Doctor Who universe to my book collection for 2015. When the DVDs are all done and dusted, I will focus on books a lot more. So let's get cracking down to business and I'll show you what I have in my collection. Starting with a target novel, a very rare target novel. It was actually one of the later ones, with it being 155 produced through the target novel range, which is The Evil of the Daleks. Of course, a brilliant story. The book is just as great as the actual TV story on audio. But yeah, brilliant read. Now with the Virgin NAs, and Virgin overall, I don't have a lot of them, as my BBC ones I have a much greater amount. No means they are bad, no, Virgin are absolutely fantastic, they have some great stories. Love and War by Paul Cornell, and of course it's been adapted by Big Finish, of course, which I'm yet to listen to, but yeah, Love and War is a great story, it's absolutely brilliant, and of course the Virgins are known to go into dark territories you never see on the TV series, but yeah, very good. I have no idea what the monsters are called, but I will look forward to hearing them on the audio. And to the next and last one, which I know absolutely nothing about, which is The Room with No Doors, which is one of the later ones. It is quite rare to get, as I've heard. Now the Virgin Missing Adventures with the first one, which is Goth Opera, which is the sequel, I believe, to State of Decay. Yeah, look at Nyssa being very sinister on the cover. Yeah, it features vampires. Yeah, very dark toned story. I can't really picture the Fifth Doctor in this book, I gotta admit. But probably that's why he's not really my favourite Doctor, so I just find him a little bit bland, and he definitely is in this book in my opinion, but the story, it is good, it is good. It's a nice quick read, it's a very thin book, so it didn't take me that long to read, about a week it took me, even though I couldn't really connect to the Doctor too much in this one. And we have one by Christopher Bullis, who's a very, hit and miss Marmite sort of writer, you either love him or hate him, which is The State of Change, which features the Rani, seeing Rome 200 years more advanced, or somewhere at the stage of that. We'd seen Perry like that, I don't know what it's going to be like in the story, from Vengeance from Varos, but yeah, who knows, that might just be added just to make the cover look a bit more fancy, but no, I don't know anything about it. Lords of the Storm, featuring the Sontarans, which is by David A. McKenzie. Again, I've heard he's quite a hit and miss writer. I actually haven't read it, I know nothing about it, but it focuses on the Sontaran Rutan War, which hasn't really been done as a story too much. We have all these Sontaran stories, but we don't really see the Sontarans and the Rutans collide against each other in battle. Now, I believe in this you do, but again, I haven't read it. Killing Ground by Steve Lyons, a brilliant writer, and this one is a fantastic book. I got this one quite recently. It's a very thin book, a very fast paced read. I like it where the Sixth Doctor gets captured by the Cybermen, and this guy right by here, whose name is Grant Markham, who joins this rebel group, has to save the Doctor, and it takes some dark paths, and the Cybermen are very serious and good old 60s style. It's a fantastic read. I read it when the day I got it. It took me no time whatsoever. And the final one, which is one of my favourite books of all time, I love this book, which is The Well-Mannered War. I'm yet to listen to the audio because I just haven't had time, but I've read this book a couple of times and I just love it. The dialogue is brilliant. It's very gruesome in some places, gouging eyes out. And the Chelonians, I believe they're called. I can never pronounce them properly, but I hope I did. They have loads of stories like The Highest Science, Zampa. This one, for example, they've had quite a ton, they have. Now we move on to the BBC books with the Past Doctor adventures. We have the first one, The Devil Goblins of Neptune, features After Inferno. Have read this one. My god, it's gruesome. It is very gruesome for a Doctor Who episode. It's structured like a 7-parter. It is good. It's nothing really memorable, in my opinion. The goblins are good. It is rather gruesome, it is. I can't remember too much about it, but I remember some edgy scenes that make you vomit. The Murder Game by Steve Lyons. This one features right after Power of the Daleks, so Jamie isn't in it. But no, I actually haven't read it. I believe it's after it. Yeah, it's after Power of the Daleks. I haven't read it, but that monster looks very familiar in another book. This one is the prequel to the Final Sanction, so I'll get that one book then, and then I'll give that one a read. Another Christopher Bollas book, which is The Ultimate Treasure, and this one features after the Planet of Fire, so it's a quite a late one in the Fifth Doctor's run. Nope, haven't read it, don't know absolutely anything about it, not at all, so I can't really comment on this one. Very like robotic unicorn in that one, something like that. Yeah, a lot of the early PDAs have this cover where it has this vortex and you know, the Doctor's photoshopped on right by there. Yeah, a lot of the covers are like that. Salvation, which deals with an alien invasion in New York. It starts off slow, but it gets there. It's a cracking good read with some very, very good ideas. Not sure about it for a First Doctor story. It feels more like a... I don't know, it just doesn't match the First Doctor for me. It just doesn't suit a First Doctor story for me personally. The dialogue's there for the First Doctor, you could definitely capture him. One by Mark Morris, which is Deep Blue. Haven't read it, I've heard it's completely twisted and just gruesome as hell, and the Fifth Doctor meets Unit in this one with Sergeant Benton and Richard Franklin. And it's right after Warriors of the Deep, the complete crap episode it is. Yeah, the monsters, there we go, he's right by there. Looking very creepy right by there, very creepy monster. City at World's End. Actually one of Christopher Bollas' best work. This is a cracking good book. It's a Doomsday one, I love Doomsday stories. It's like Inferno for the First Doctor. It's a really good story. It's a very thick book it is, but... Wait, it may not look thick on the camera, but yeah, it's quite thick it is, about 300 pages, it's a cracking good read. Yeah, features after the Reign of Terror, that one. Then we have The Tomb of Valdemar by Simon Messingham. Now this one, quite oddly enough, features in the Key to Time area, but it does explain why they are actually going to this, so I'm not sure where it takes place, but oh, it's right after the Ribos operation. I thought it'd be after the Stones of Blood, weird enough, but nope, I haven't read it, yep. But I heard it's got a very powerful villain in it. And my last PDA I got, and these are all EDAs, with Superior Beings. I heard it's absolutely crap, it is, but I haven't read it. I like the cover though, Superior Beings. I like it, it looks quite interesting, it does. I can't comment on it. But others who do comment on it say it's just an abysmal, dull mess. The EDAs now with... Genocide, for the 8th Doctor who meets Jo Grant, an older version of Jo Grant. I actually think this is an underrated one. It is rather complex what happens, trying to have to think about this. I believe the Jo Grant goes through this digging place and finds something, but oh, I can't remember it to be honest. I have to reread it, but I do remember liking it. It is so complex, I can't even explain it to you, but yeah, nice skull, it's quite creepy. It is a complex book, that's why it may not be for everyone, but for me, I just enjoyed it. It's a cracking good read. Vanderdecken's Children, I hope I'm saying that right. Love the cover, really intimidated to go in this massive spaceship. But I haven't read it, and I am really looking forward to reading it. Yeah, as again, it features a Sam in this one. Now we have a Paul Magris story who, you know, is a writer not for everyone, with the Scarlet Impress, featuring Iris Wildthyme. And I've never listened or read about her character. I heard she's just absolutely nuts and off the top. I know this book isn't for everyone, that's why I'm a little bit put off by it, but yeah, I do like Paul Magris' stuff. He goes to this comedic level, he does. He is a very creative and different writer than any other writer than you experience. But I will one day give it a go. The Face Eater by Simon Messingham. Love the cover, loved the blurb on the back, but haven't read it. But I've heard it's very good in a lot of people's eyes, so yeah, I can't comment on that one. Dominion, a simplistic but nice artwork with vortex and nice electricity going around. Yeah, the only thing I can comment on this story is the cover art. I haven't read the book, so I can't say absolutely anything on it. Now, weirdly enough, I have Interference Book 2, but I don't have Book 1. Yeah, that's a bit odd, but I found this in a charity shop for I can't remember how much it was, but it was a really cheap price, and it is a rare book, so I just said, why not? I've heard it's just a bit of a mess, this Interference story. For me, well, I'm just yet to see that for myself. Parallel 59. It's a very bad book. Don't bother with that one. It's not rare, it's extremely easy to get, but yeah, if you spend like 50p on it, you're not really wasting anything. If you pay something like for a $5 for it, I feel sorry for you because it's not worth it. The Banco Legacy, with an interesting collaboration of Andy Lane and Justin Richards. Yeah, this book is structured like it was written by two people because it shows the story in two people's eyes, not the Doctor and I think it's Fritz, her name is Fitz. Yes, Fitz. Inspector Ian Stadford and John Hopkins, you see the story in their point of view in different timelines. Yeah, it's very... you have to pay attention and read it. You can't really take breaks on it, you just have to read it as quickly as possible and you understand it, but it's one of these convoluted ones. If you take long breaks on it, you won't enjoy it. Yeah, really good horror story. Some really gruesome bits in this book. Now we have a Trevor Baxendale book with The Eater of Wasps with a very nice cover. Yeah, I heard it's in this English village with a plague going around, similar to the Black Death. For me, I can't comment on it, but I've heard it's just quite gruesome. And we have a Grim Reality with a very interesting statue sitting on the TARDIS. Yeah, I've heard it's like quite similar to the Mind Robber, where it defies the laws of physics. I think I just stopped reading it after a bit. I just can't remember anything. Not sure if I enjoyed it or not. Now for one of my favourite writers ever, he's my favourite Big Finish writer, which is Anorecphobia, with a nice image of a person with a clock face, which is A Fear of Time. Bleak stuff in it. Yeah, Jonathan Morris is a bleak writer, and this definitely shows his work at the full extent. It's marvellous. To the penultimate BBC book I got, which is Half-Life, with a very nice cover. I haven't read it, so I don't know anything about it, I'm afraid, sorry. I haven't actually read any reviews on it, so I can't state about people's opinions, really. I have no idea. And here we have one of my favourite, again, Doctor Who books of The Sleep of Reason. With a nice wolf on there, showing his teeth and yellow glowing eyes. An amazing book, it has like nightmares through it. I will leave this all to you because it is a marvellous book. Very small cast though, it's like about 4 characters including the Doctor. So yeah, very small cast in that story, but it works brilliantly. Now we have Target reprints, so I'll go through these quickly. With Doctor and the Daleks, which has grown on me as a TV story, believe it or not. It was a good story, it's just a bit long. Doctor and the Abominable Snowman. It is an underrated Yeti story. You know, Enemy of the World suffered the same thing for being a missing episode. Day of the Daleks. A Dalek story I appreciate, to be honest. And The Ark in Space, which is a classic in my eyes. It's a marvellous story. Now we have 50th anniversary book reprints with 10 Little Aliens. Quite hated this one is, but I can't be a hater or a lover because I have not read it. But I'm intrigued by it. Another Johnny Morris book, Festival of Death. You might see the skull on it, but I'm not sure the camera will pick it up. But it's a marvellous book of where the Doctor goes back to this event where he's already saved the day, but in his point of view he hasn't, and he does it by sacrificing himself, so he has to go back to this time and save himself from the incident he did. Yeah, loads of things happen in this book, and it's rather good. It's a very good take on the Doctor Who episode. Fear of the Dark, haven't read it yet, but it does sound very good. And The Silent Stars Go By, which I just got bored of and I just stopped reading it. I really didn't like that one. Captures the 11th Doctor very well, but it just took forever for good things to happen. Now here we have a history collection book, if I can get it out, with the Roundheads. Really good historical story, but the second Doctor is very light in it. he doesn't really do a lot, really. It's more the companions doing stuff. They're all trapped and, you know, can't change the course of history, and they have to do this, getting out of the situation they are in. So they are in a big pressure of a situation, but yeah, poor old Troughton doesn't get a lot to do. Or second Doctor, I should say. And to the second row, we have another History Collection book, which is a marvellous book. People voted to be one of the best Virgin NA books with Lucifer Horizon. And it is a really good book. It is, you know, if you love Human Nature and the Family of Blood, you will love this, since this is the inspiration of it. And it was actually intended to be a 7th Doctor story, so if you love Human Nature and the Family of Blood and the 7th Doctor, you would just dream of this being a TV story. Ace isn't in that book, just to point that out. Now we have Big Finish short trip books, which I think are brilliant books, and rarity is quite high on them. And we have Life Science. Can't say anything about it. It's an easy one to get. Christmas Treasury, which is more of a rarer one. Seven Deadly Sins. I've read a couple of these, and they are, you know, they're fun and witty, they are, and they're very enjoyable. The History of Christmas. I might as well just read that one at Christmas, to be honest, but I haven't read it. Just like listening to Chimes of Midnight at Christmas. Farewells. Yeah, haven't read any of them. And do you remember this? I said transmission got lost in the post, but 2 weeks after, I got it. It was actually sent back to the person who originally had this book, because there was like issues with transporting it. So yeah, I finally got it. This is an unbelievably rare book, this is, and happy that I got it. Can't wait to read it. And for a new series book, I've only got the one, because I would prefer the audiobooks to these, to be honest, but we have Feast of the Drowned, which I've heard is not very good. And for other miscellaneous sort of stuff, we have quiz books. I got 1 and 2. And for Decide Your Destiny books with the Crystal Snare and the Conifrian Project. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I'm going to act like an idiot if I haven't. And Whoology, which I got for a really good price. And 3 other books we have here. We have The Secret Lives of Monsters, 50 Years The Essential Guide, and The Vault. Well, I knew I'd forget something. I also have this as well, which is a Space Travels Doctor Who book. I got this been ages ago. So thank you very much for watching my book collection for 2015. I would definitely update you for another book collection this year, absolutely, so I can expand on my Virgin books, absolutely, and BBC books as well, all of them really. And of course that happened this year, I just don't entirely know when. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. And the next video is rather interesting, something I haven't done yet, which I've had in my mind for quite a while. So stay tuned for it, and